All right, everybody. I think we are live. Get this music shut down here. A bunch of new tech we're going on here with. Got some chill music. So let me get this up and running here. We got a couple new things going here. So if you guys are on, maybe let me know in the chat. I got a new programmer running here, but I wanted to I wanted to test out this program tonight, but two, I really wanted to talk about some bits tonight and horse training stuff. So yeah, if you guys are on here, let me know where you're from, what you're doing tonight. Let's see. Show. Good evening, Stephanie. So yeah, I got this new program that puts me on, supposedly, we're going to find out, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at once. We'll see if it works. But my main clients here are Facebook. That's probably what we're going. Yeah, if you guys are on here, let me know who you are, where you're from. Looks like Stephanie's on here. It's you're here, so it's going to be a little hard to see. You know what I probably should do is get on my live over here and check this out. So if you guys hang tight, we're oh, there we go. Cool. Okay. So it looks like we've got Brittany's on here and 8 other people. Hello from Glen Rose, Texas. Hi, Sabine. Cool. And looks like Betty's on here and a few folks. Awesome. So we'll see if this new tech works. But what I wanted to do tonight is talk about some snaffle bits. So put a best place on earth, Bend, Oregon. Oh my God, Cody's in the house. So yeah, we want to talk about some bits tonight because what we got going is tomorrow, we're past Black Friday, Cyber Monday, trying to keep up with all the holidays and stuff. Cyber Monday, so all weekend, and then Cyber Monday, we're having a deal on these bits, which is cool. You guys want to get one, great. But I thought it would be a great idea to explain these things. So what's been going on here is the last several years, I've got all these things out. I've got bits and saddles and programs and stuff on Facebook and cool things online you can do and all this. And I don't ever tell hardly anybody about anything. So my goal this winter is to just let you all know what's going on around here. And then you can make your choices. You want to get something great. You want to just learn something in the process. That's awesome. You want to critique it and criticize or whatever. That's cool. We get a lot of that on Facebook and stuff. But tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the difference in some bits here. But first off, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had troubles with a horse and their bit. Like your horse pulls on your hands, he's head tossing, maybe he's running through the bit. He doesn't want to stay soft in a lead change. He's heavy on you, all these things. And you've tried like doing all the bit stuff. You go down to the feed store and you're talking to the person that sort of rides horses, but not really. And you're like, hey, I need a guaranteed stop bit or different things. Oh, the best. We have a competition on where the best place is. Looks like we've got Olympia is now up in there as well. I'm going to turn on some music. Let me guys know if the music is playing too. I am like enthralled with some of this new stuff here. Okay, we'll just turn it down low. Like let's talk bits, like a Roberto Painless. I ride mine in La Hackamore. I had an Arab that would not, oops, hold on. I always try to get there. I don't need a bit. I also like a rain beads to help soften my hands and the horse response, but that comes after a lot of work. Just my 2 cents. Cool. Let's hear here. We've got Cody. She says here, she starts all of her colts in the comfort snaffle. Cool. Let's see. Christina says she's having a 1. Betty's a 1. Tracy's a 1. Cindy's a 1. That's kind of cool. You guys can kind of pop up on here. Man, we're clicking buttons. I love this one. Cliff's on here. Hey, buddy. I like that. Shout out to Cliff. Uh, yeah, Stevens County is pretty nice. It's a good place to be most of the time. Um, let's see. She says here, Stephanie says, I used uh, two until I switched to a miler. It's good. Let's see. Stevens County is pretty good. This is my favorite for the night. Hey, buddy from Cliff. We call them token guys. So, as most of you know, the clinic industry is primarily ladies that will venture out of their shell and come see people for help. So I call them token guys. When a guy does show up, it's normally like maybe one at a clinic. So Cliff's one of my guys. I know all my guys by name because there's like 10 of them. So, all right. Let's see. What does we say here? Lori says, I really like the short shank correction, but I got from you as a transition. Awesome. Tried a few bits, but I love this one. Let's see. Regular snaffle, flipping the tongue over a bit, open his mouth, tried a few bits, but love this one. All right, cool. Kathy says here, Kathy's on too. I purchased your comfort bit last month. Awesome. So I just want to talk a little bit about the differences. Like, this is to each their own. All right. I am never like, if someone shows up in some awkward bit at the clinic, I might tell them why we maybe wouldn't use it or when I would use it or not. But I kind of just let them ride in whatever they've got. All right. But if the horse is really having some tough times, all right, and he's just struggling getting certain things going, I try to recommend like, hey, we need to go laterally with these horses, meaning more bending, more suppling, and the horses need to be able to do that. And if you're in a shanked bit, which I like shank bits, but if you're in a shank bit and he's having trouble softening, it's harder to direct the horse laterally. Okay. And that's just kind of, I'm still here. That's just kind of facts of the situation. It's just how that bit picks up in the mouth, right? It's just kind of how things go. So, what I like to have is something like a snaffle that you can pick up on one side or the other. So, what I've got here is I've got an egg butt snaffle, and when you pull on one side, it just kind of gently pulls the horse over here, and the other side over there. But it doesn't have any leverage on it. So when they pull on it, there's nothing to like. There's no shank down here that when it gets pulled on, that it applies leverage to the face. Is basically a one-to-one contact in most instances, meaning if you pull with a pound, you get a pound of pressure onto the horse's face. So that's really important to understand. If you have a leverage bit, it could be different. Maybe if you pull with a pound of pressure with some leverage bits, you get 2 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. Just kind of depends on how you have it adjusted and the length of the shaft, the shank and all that. It just kind of depends. So what I have found over the years, though, is some horses, they don't like this. Okay. So the snaffle, and I'm not downplaying snaffles, right? Snaffles are fine, but let me just explain why I don't use snaffles anymore. Okay. So as this comes down, it can create a pinching spot, which, I mean, some pinch for certain situations, probably fine, but it does create a pinching spot. And what I did is I switched years ago over to a bit that doesn't pinch. So this is one of ours, is a comfort snaffle, and you see it arcs forward, okay, but it doesn't pinch. But what it does is it allows side by side action. So if I want to pick up, this would be my right side. I don't know what it shows for you guys, if everything's backwards or not. Yeah, it's backwards in your deal. So picking up here on my right, or I can pick up here independently. So it still kind of works like a snaffle side to side. All right. But it doesn't pinch. Okay. It just kind of rolls. Got a copper inlay in here, and it's got a little roller piece in the middle there. It's got a nice side to it here. We did a little bit of like an English Western combo. But let me tell you why I switched. Okay. Most of my program relies on teaching horses to make choices, to let them make good decisions. Okay. What does it say? Replying to Cody Manasco, Sargo is much nicer under the comfort snaffle, she says. Donita's on here. How cool. We teach them to make choices. All right. So what happens with like a heavy leverage bit? some like a gag bit and different things is it almost forces the horse into a position. Like a mechanical hackamore essentially just kind of crushes the horse's face a little bit. I mean, it doesn't like completely crush it, but it really just, it's like a nutcracker effect on there. So there's some point it doesn't really have a choice. It'd be like this. If I put, say, a mechanical hackamore or certain leverage bits on a horse, okay, and this is a comparison. If I were to take a hold, so this is your horse's mouth, and this here is the bit, okay. If I started twisting your finger and I just twisted it slightly, we're probably fine. I'm not panicking. It's not a big deal. I'm like, wonder what they're doing, whatever. But there's a point here in this twist that mentally I'm going to start panicking if I can't pull away from that contact. It just gets too much, and all I'm going to be thinking about is the pain that's coming if it hasn't already arrived, the panic situation. It's going to be bad. All right, mentally. Now I might be able to be submitted as a horse and just say, fine, I'll take it. And I might hide my face and try to get away or whatever. All right. The comfort snaffle, though, this here without the pinch, the way I like to think about this, all right, is this. If I were to take, let's say you're getting ready to fall. If your hand and arm was here and my hand and arm was here, and I were to grab you like this, okay, and we were, say you were in trouble, you were drowning, you're going to fall or something, and so we locked like this. This to me is like a comfort snaffle. The more pressure that's created, almost the more secure you feel. Now, is that pressure? Yes, that's pressure, but it's more of like a creative, helpful pressure that doesn't turn into this twist. Okay, that's the concept. Now, does this mean we have more control? Like, is it going to be in the aisle at the tack store that's like guaranteed stopping bit? No, it's not going to be there in that category at all. But because we're more comfortable as far as not pinching and panicking, we should be able to think more because we have more thoughts and we're clear in them. That is where the control comes from. So these can work that way, but there may be a point that when it gets to the there, especially like that one's not bad, but look at this one. Look at this one. This is a twisted, narrow. Okay. That definitely can create some pinch. They tried to alleviate by making a little curve there so you don't actually lose the horse's face, but that's just another option there. And then what happens on these two, you see that little hole there? That can create a pinch point too. This one isn't really that big, but some of these have a bigger pinching area right in here, and they can get a little lip and things caught in. Not bad, but I mean, think about you getting pinched, right? It just is immediately distracting. Like, say, who here's ever gotten a sliver or a bee sting or different things, then all of a sudden, that's all you're thinking about. You're just walking down the street, you get stung by a bee, and you're like, holy crap, like my little world has ended, right? So this helps to eliminate that. Now, does it give you more control? No, it doesn't give you more control, but because of the thoughts and the focus, then you can get more control, but you have to ride it properly. This isn't just put it on your horse and you ride off into the sunset at a dead run and he's going to stop for you when you whisper to him, but your communication process is going to be better. So this, to me, in combination with the program, is going to help your horses a lot more. All right. Now, speaking of the program, let me give you guys a little story here. But first, I'm going to, there's much to learn on this topic. Karen says, here we go. This is a good one. Karen says, best investment, immediate difference in my horses. All right. Because this is the thing, like bits, saddles, like saddle fit are two of the top topics that are always out there. Like everybody's in search of a different bit. Everybody's in search of a different saddle. Like who's been through like 8 saddles to get your horse going, right? And who's been through, who has like a dozen bits or more in their tack room, right? And you only ride a couple of them maybe. But let me tell you a little story. So this was years ago. I was riding a Mustang. at a fair for one of those 100-day prep deals. It wasn't a competition. I was the only guy doing it. They hired me. The BLM hired me to do a horse in 100 days. This is pre Mustang makeover. So I feel like I was a catalyst for the Mustang makeovers because I was like one of the first out there with a 100-day time limit prepping these horses, and then I would go show them. And the BLM just wanted me to be able to lead the horse around the arena safely and be able to walk around people and pick up all 4 feet. That was their requirement. They gave me 100 days to lead a horse around and pick up all 4 feet. So basically, I was like, what am I going to do after the first week? Right? Like, I get this thing in, he's wild for a day or two or a week or whatever, but then you can lead him and you can pick up his feet. Like, it's not rocket science to be able to do that on most horses. All right. It's not like, what am I going to do? It's like, well, I might as well start riding this sucker. I'm hauling them down the road. I might as well ride them. And then if I'm riding them, I might as well ride them a lot. And then if I'm riding them a lot, I might as well show them. Okay. It's just kind of, it's how it was back then. I could have just did what they wanted and just got him gentle and pick up his feet. So I wish I could find 8 saddles that fit my horse. So this is what happened. Because I'm kind of rushing these horses through a loop. I'm not forcing them, but I'm like, we got to have some things. So I didn't have my techniques as good back then. I was like 23, 24. I would put him in a leverage bit. And what I did at the time is I put him in a Tom Thumb because that was everybody was using is Tom Thumb. I didn't know any different. And I noticed immediately my horse was better for about a week. And then he got real shitty. Okay. And I was like, well, I don't understand what's going on. I'm training him more. He was better. And now he hates things in his face. He'll let me bridle him up, but I go to pull on him and he just immediately doesn't like what's going on. So I was there and I run into a guy and he says, hey, Steve, why don't you try one of these non-pinch deals? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. That seems like less control. Well, I put it on there and it sure was. It was less control. I didn't like it. But what I needed to change was my program. So when I started working on more softening exercises, bending exercises, getting these horses thinking more and trying more, then all of a sudden that bit worked great. I'd still go back and forth for a while, but there come a point in time, like I saved that Tom Thumb, all right, and I know it's in the tack room, but like tonight, we went out to look for it, I couldn't find it. It's got to be around there somewhere. I've kept it just as a reminder. Apparently, it's a subtle reminder since I couldn't find it, but it's probably in the back of a storage box. But I won't ride in a Tom Thumb. I mean, if I'm going out on trail ride and it is literally the only bit available for whatever reason, maybe I'm in a friend's trailer pulling the tack out of the trailer. That's all he's got. I'll ride in it. That's fine. But am I going to ride in one every day with it to train my horse? Absolutely not. Okay. Not happening. But it was the combination of taking the pinch away from the horse and a good program. Let me tell you one other quick story. So I was even younger. I was in high school riding a horse, and she's probably 5-6-year-old horse, maybe 4. And she had 100, 200 rides on her or whatever, but just trail miles. And this little horse get kind of running through my hand, and not running off, but really kind of pushing the limit. And so I was like, oh, I'll fix that. So I put a mechanical hackamore on her. And actually, I got a picture. I'll be back in like 5 seconds. Wait for this. All right, we're back. All right, was that 5 seconds? Yeah, we're here. So it'll be backwards, but it doesn't matter. So this is me. I mean, look at that grit and determination, but I'm just a little baby. But let's go in. There's the mechanical hackamore back in the day. But man, look at the grit and the level loop. Man, I don't even know who that guy is. Okay. So I don't know. I must have been 16 in that photo or something. I kept that photo just for the mechanical hackamore. No, I kept that photo because I was intense. I'm like, people are like, Steve, I wanna be successful in the horse industry. And I'm like, unless you have that look in your face, it ain't happening. Okay. That's the look of, it doesn't matter if I'm successful, I'll never quit. Okay, that's the look. All right. Let's see. So, like my All right. Who's going to play the Jeopardy music? We should, we've got music on here. I should upload some stuff. This new, we're going to do, hold on. We're going to try the hip hop for you. There we go. The hip hop. I don't even know. It's like AI made music or something. Okay, we're gonna turn that off. We gotta get back to the presentation here. Okay. So I had a mechanical hackamore, and then I'd switch to the snaffle on her, and it wouldn't work. She'd go to running through it. I was getting some horsemanship lessons back then. They're like, Steve, you need a snaffle on that horse. So I'd put the snaffle on. Sucker would start running off. I'm like, that old man, he got no idea what he's talking about, that guy. So I'd go back to the hackamore and she'd listen ish. But when I say listen, meaning she would stop sort of and she would turn sort of. But my standard of listening back then was horrible. Okay. Like she wasn't soft, she wasn't picked up, she wasn't doing departures, she wasn't spinning, she wasn't doing any body control, no haunches in, no training. Now, if I had to point her into the wilderness or up a mountain, she would go. And we had 3 speeds back then. We had walk, we had trot, and we had what we called get there. We didn't have a lope. We had walk speed, trot, and get there. That's all I knew back then when I was in high school. Walk, trot, get there. I didn't have all this like Western pleasure, dressage education, that sort of thing back then. But I did learn to like kill it across country. That's for sure. So my point is this, is once I combine the program with the ride bit, things got a lot better. Now, do I only ride in these? Am I like a no bit, no spurs, whatever, bareback, riding through the fields with daisies in my hair type person? No, like I'm practical. I was talking to somebody tonight about some horse training issues they were having, and I gave them some advice that is not in my One Ride Away program. But she's been a student of mine for 6 years. I'm like, try this for like 10 minutes. I bet it'll get his attention. Right. So I'm totally open-minded about training stuff. So I will go to other bits from here, but normally it's a very low leverage ported bit that still works independently like this for the next step. And I don't go to that bit for more control. I go to that bit for more straightness when I pick up on the horse, because this is, as you advance the horse, say you've been riding them for a year and you go one-handed, to really get some refined straight communication, it's hard in a snaffle like this. Doesn't mean he can't, doesn't mean I don't. Okay. But if I'm just riding one-handed and roping and starting colts and all that, it's easy to just have a bit to go straight. But I'm switching for the straightness aspect. I'm not switching for the control. Like I have to have a bigger bit for control. If I need more control of my horse through the bridle, I go back to this. And then the combination that I use is I use my loop reins, which allow me to communicate more effectively because I can give and take on the rein way more smoother and easier than say just a standard set of split reins. Now I like split reins. I have split reins. I use split reins, but I mostly use my loop reins when I'm training young horses or a difficult horse or something. I can just kind of gather and release everything real easy. And if I, heaven forbid, I ever do drop something or whatever, it's just a loop rein. I can pick it up and we're back at it. Okay. So what do we got here in the chat here? Used to ride Magellan and Pirelli Hackamore, which is nothing more than a halter. Yeah, that's just a halter, huh? Don't need it. But what did she say? Let's see if it shows your whole, but I couldn't use it to show in. Yeah, I couldn't use it to show in. Saddle and Dante used to have the other, I'm sure more muscle than the other, so I got him. So fit was a huge problem. Yeah. So, and we're going to have a saddle seminar this winter too. We're not going to get into the saddle stuff today. Here we go. Who is going to play the Jeopardy music, Christina? So anyway, this is the deal. Let me see what we can do in here. I don't even know how this thing works. Here we go. So this is the deal. These snaffle bits, if you go to schoolofhorse.com and go to the tack store, if you want one, That's where they're at. They are $87 this week. They are normally $125. So down from 125. So that's what we're doing for there. Oops, no. Here we go. Okay. That's what we're doing for Cyber Monday. That's one of them. Okay. The other one of them, and I probably put it in here. So it's actually, you can go to horseteacher.com also. I'll put that on here. If you guys are interested, I'm not trying to push these bits, but I am trying to push good horsemanship, and I'm trying to push you guys getting good results, and I am trying to push education as to why these things work for me and for so many of my students. That's what I'm pushing. Okay. So, and I've worked over 30,000 head of horses. If there's a breed, if there's a discipline, if there's a type of horse, a person, I've probably dealt with them or somebody similar enough that I would know how to deal with it. Fast horses, slow horses, fat horses, skinny horses, tall horses, short horses, Andalusians, Friesians, saddlebreds, ponies, and Lipizaners, and Lusitanos, and all, just literally everything. Okay, everything I have dealt with. Are there some like really awkward, weird breeds maybe over in Africa or something? Sure, but they're probably related to a thoroughbred or an Arab anyhow. Okay, so now we're back to the breeds that we've definitely worked. Okay, so the other thing, like, I've dealt with so many problems with horses and people, and like if I had to go to my tack room today, and you told me, Steve, you can only take one bit with you, and we are flying you to an unknown location to ride like an intermediate to greener type horse, this is the only thing I would take. And I might only take it if it was an advanced horse too, because, I don't know, maybe on an advanced horse I would take a straight bit, but it was only just for straightness. But if I could only take only one, this is the one I'm taking. And you'd be shockingly, and maybe someday we'll take you out there. You'd be shockingly surprised how boring my tack room is. Like, it's cool. It's got old tin and wood and all that. So like it's a nice looking tack room, but boring in that my tack wall is boring. I have a couple of these setups, and I got a couple of the short shanks, and I got, some bridles and stuff, just odds. And I probably have 5 to 10 bits, and I really only ride in like 3 or 4 of them. And if I do have duplicates, it's just because I loan a lot of tack out and stuff. So like I might only need 1 or 2 snaffles, but I might have half a dozen in there in case somebody else needs one that's not the ranch. So yeah, does anybody have any questions about this? We're going to keep it short tonight. I did a live the other day, and I'm probably going to do one tomorrow on this topic. Who here's been in the equine masterclass? That thing, holy smokes, so many people were interested in that, and they're in there using it, which is so cool. Like, this reminds me, the release of the equine masterclass reminds me of the release of the One Ride Away program. It's so, like, I was like, I don't know if they're going to like the One Ride Away program. I think it's going to be stellar. It's the coolest thing ever. It's so thorough and educational and helpful, and it shows the whole journey and the steps, but you just don't know until it gets out there into people's hands. You don't know. You really don't know. But that thing went like fire. People loved it. And still today, years later, people are using that same One Ride Away. I haven't touched it since then. I haven't touched the workbook. I haven't touched the videos or anything. They love it. Like, love it, love it, love it. And I mean to tell you, these people really love the Equine Masterclass. The One Ride Away program is in there. A whole bunch of other stuff's in there. We've released a 3 Pillars series last week. We released a Quinn series young horse to add to the foundation series in there. There's a whole bunch, and we're filming a bunch more. We got stuff coming down the runway here. We're going to be filming this winter. I might be in my bib shooting videos, but y'all going to get some new videos. Okay. All right. So here we go. Amber says she is loving the masterclass. They do not come in pony size. However, I will say this, the bits don't come in pony size. I have never had a problem putting it on a smaller horse. Now, I know some people are like, the lips have to be perfectly touching, and if there's a gap and or whatever, if it's too tight, they get all. I'm like, personally, I've never noticed a difference in how the horse rides. It could have a 1-inch gap on each side. And when you pick up, okay, let's say there's a gap. All right. It had to be really small to have a gap, but let's say there's a gap. You make contact, okay, and you pull. So you pull on this rein, you got a gap there. All right. It's going to slide over and make contact. Bam, your bit fits. I like, and you're like, well, what about the middle? There's not enough in the middle to hang up or do anything. Same thing. If it had a gap, you pull over, you make contact, boom. Because that's really how a snaffle works. So it works on the outside pressure. There is some inside pressure, like picking up, okay? But if you are really pulling on a colt over here, that pressure is going to go to the other side of the mouth here. And that's where most of the contact is coming. Some inside, yes, but it's really you're coming here. So that's really why I don't think the bit width matters. Now, I'm sure there's some technical mathematician, physics major that rides on the weekends that may tell you differently. They may know the exact, makeup of the horse and the leverage system and all that. They probably know all that way better than me. But you'd be hard pressed to find anybody that's seen more horses in their entire life ridden under saddle. I've seen a lot of horses, work with a lot of horses. I've never seen it make a difference as far as the actual width and size. Okay. Not saying it doesn't. Never seen it. Okay. All right. Let's see. What's this saying? Christina says, get it. Get it. Oh, here we go. I love our crew. Betty's like, Rosie Peters. Hi, Rosie. Step backward at the halt. Oh my gosh, there we are, being critical of the halt. We don't want that. Us Western folks are fine with that, but I hear you. So back to the module. There. This is a good one. Alicia says she was in it last week in the Equine University, working on the HTU modules. Terry worked my butt off this weekend, so back to module review and work this week. So that's good. She's using the Equine Masterclass to get in, get out, that sort of thing. So we're going to be having that 25% off the Equine Masterclass. Those of you that did not get in on the 50% deal, that ended Friday night. We got the 25% one through Monday, and then things are going back to normal. So that's just kind of a part of our product release. I want to make sure that we had that for you guys this winter. And we got some more cool stuff coming out, different things. The other thing, those of you who've been asking about the schedule, we're going to try to release the schedule this week. We are waiting on one date to confirm. So there might be a couple jockeys around on like spring and fall, like April or September, but everything else should hold the same. The camp dates should hold. Everything should hold. Summer should hold. And then after that, we're going to be releasing the early bird specials. Okay. After that. So I'm hoping early birds here in another week or two. I do not know the scheduling system and all that of the place that we're waiting on. So I'm hoping they're close. I really don't know, but I'm hoping. Last year they were around this time, so should be soon. I know they have to book a lot of events at their facility. I'm just one of them. So that stuff can take a while. Does anybody have any questions? Katie went through the introduction. Is there a chance you'll have a clinic near Nebraska? Well, I just tell people this. I go where there's people. If you give me a call or email, really, don't call because I don't answer my phone. But you can email and we'll get that answered. You got people. Put the deposits down. We'll find a week and we'll make it happen, especially if it's an indoor arena. Honestly, most of my year is pretty booked out early, like spring to fall. But like I'll go to places with an indoor arena when the weather doesn't matter, right? Like I'm going clear up to Edmonton in March. or maybe February. And that's not recommended to go up to Edmonton probably before June 15th. Okay, but I'm going because they have an enclosed indoor. All right. Oh, this is a big announcement. Donita, free gift wrapping in Bend has started 12 to 6 daily until Christmas Eve day. Little plug for them. Very good. Not sure who that is. Is that if that's you, Donita, or somebody else? But this is so great. So does anybody have any questions before we get going? How about a vote for the new program? I don't know if I'm live on Instagram. Before we do this, I'm going to check it out. I want to see if I am live anywhere else. I'm going to go to my channel. Looks like I am. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Close. I'm killing it on YouTube. I'm the only one watching. That's how live, how good my YouTube channel is. It's partly why I signed up for this. I'm trying to get some more traction on these other. So I am watching myself on YouTube. So if you guys need a copy of this, you can hop over there. Let me check Instagram tonight. Oh, that is hilarious. So many things to running a business now. I have dropped the ball on my YouTube. I am not seeing me on Instagram, but that doesn't mean I'm not there. I could be in the feed. Anybody know about Instagram stuff? I'm not seeing me pop up here. Well, if not, we tried. So it's all we can say. More importantly than how I'm doing on YouTube and Instagram is the fact that there's free gift wrapping in Bend. So, if say you're up in Ellensburg or something, need your gifts wrapped, you just drive on down and they'll take care of it. Oh, Oregon Equestrian Trails fundraiser. Oh, so for a small donation. Rosie says she's going to drive down to Bend and get her gifts wrapped because she's busy. Maybe she'll mail them. Tracy's laughing. What, Donita? What can you not figure out? Put it in the chat. It's the only drawback about this. I can't hear you guys. Ooh. So if you let me know, Donita. Oops. Karen says going to get some more cows. Love cow work. Dialed for the April clinic. I like that. Katie says Edmonton's awesome. When do you do this? So when you do saddle fitting, I need it. Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll be talking about that. We're going to give a little saddle seminar for sure. Basically, like I've solved the bidding issue and I've solved, let's just do it here. We'll see. It's back here. Hold on so I don't lose everything. This is one of them. I've solved the saddle issue, okay, with the Rother Continental saddles. Okay, this is one that I just got in. This baby's mine, but I mean, you could buy it if you wanted. But this is for my studio, probably for a horse someday. But we'll be going over all the saddle fit stuff yesterday. The outside of that saddle is pretty cool, but it's the inside that makes that saddle pop. Okay, it's the inside of that saddle, the saddle tree. All right. All right. Any questions? Thank you, Rosie. Oh yeah. So tentatively, we're going to have our first Zoom next week for Equine Masterclass. That's the goal. I wanted to get through Cyber Monday, get all our specials crew, like the opening release opportunities, get them in there. Then we'll open up and go. And we'll have those Zoom meetings. And then the nice thing, they're on a Zoom, I believe we can kind of interact and you guys can chat and that sort of thing. I know I can't hear you guys right now. I mean, I can see what you're saying. Like I can hear Tracy like, ooh, right? Pretty. Cause like, I mean, obviously that's what that says. There's so many exclamation marks. So yeah, those Zooms, are going to be good there. All right. Yeah, listen to this. I mean, really, and we're not. Yeah, buy a Continental, you have worries, and it's true. The only people that have worries in a Continental are the people that worry. Okay, about everything. Right? They worry about everything. I wonder what this does. New comments will display here. Oops. Can you guys see that now? Let's see. Hide chat overlay. There we go. Oop. I'm assuming you guys can see that, but I don't know. This is a new program. So, well, I think I'm gonna actually probably right now, you know what's calling me in right now is the one person that's watching my YouTube video. That's me. So, oh yeah, there it is. I've got it up on my phone. I can see the chat going here. That's kind of cool. You guys can see the chat rolling. So that's fun. Anybody, any questions? Any questions? Oh, she says, okay, I'm convinced. We're in the masterclass. Bit and reins. Anything else? Yes. Carolyn, I have 3 horses for sale. Would you like a warm blood, a Lusitano stallion, or a 4-year-old cutting mare? That's not cutting. No, that should be plenty. But this is the deal, Carol. I just want to make sure you guys are taken care of. And those of you that maybe haven't known me long, I'm not going to steer you astray. Like you get that snaffle and you're like, this is the worst thing ever, which it never is for anybody. But if it was, just send it back. We'll get you your money back. You get into the equine masterclass and you're like, this is the most ridiculous education attempt I've ever seen. We'll just refund your money. Like it's not. Um, you have a what? No, Carolyn. Do you have 100 and no? Hold on. Do you have 125 horses? Confirm this for me. Yes or no if you have 125. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Everybody's going to just go crazy if you have 125 horses. Nobody in my little group, quarter horses, I might add. Holy smokes. Carolyn, put your information in here. Like, how do we reach you? Like your website or something. I'm assuming you got if you got 125 horses, hopefully you're selling something. Yeah, let everybody know about you. Let everybody know about you. Grulias. Oh my God. With it. So we have officially switched over to a horse sale platform, not on Facebook, because that's not a lot. Did I say that out loud? We're not doing that. We're just looking at her pretty horses. That's what we're doing. We're admiring. Are you kidding? Blue Roan? Oh my God. All right. Carolyn says, Grulias, Blue Roan. Yeah, put your web address or Facebook link or something in here. If nothing else, my peeps are just going to want to browse your channel. All right. That's so cool, Carolyn. We're all thinking it's cool, right? Carolyn's like, I got to feed 125 head of horses. All right. I am going, does that just pop up on here? It's going to pop up. I'm going to just take a picture of it so I don't miss it. There we go. McIntosh Performance Horses. Cool. All right. Yep. And Donita is still trying to sell her little horse. She's pending. Y'all know what pending means. It means it's going quick. Could be out the door anytime soon. So I tried to sneak in on a pending sale for some property one time, and a guy laughed at me. I'm like, I'll pay more. He's like, well, it's already almost in contract. I'm like, oh my. Okay. Duns and blacks. Jeez, Carolyn. I'm definitely going over to look at that. But yeah, definitely. If you guys want to get in on the Equine Masterclass, Monday at midnight, it's the last chance for the 25% off. If something isn't working for you, you're like, Steve, I need to get in. I need 4 pay, 6 pay, 28 pay, or whatever. Just let me know. All right. Carolyn's just going to sell like, what would she sell? She wouldn't sell one horse. One horse would probably buy her like a whole bunch of memberships. Can you sell part of a horse? Like sell some mane hair or something to buy it? Get a horse for Christmas, Pam says. So Pam is supporting you, Carolyn, in any horse distribution activity that you may be promoting. Pam's like, y'all get one for Christmas. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I do not see any questions here, people. You're all questioned out. But if you are liking these lives, the presentation, we did 2 webinars and a live last week and an extra live. So we did like 2 lives. We're doing a sneak one on bits today. We'll probably do again tomorrow morning. If you like these things, just put a like in the chat. Let us know if you're digging on this stuff or not. Tell your friends, come hang out with us. We're going to be doing stuff like this all winter. I love it. We all know that at clinics, sometimes when there's questions, I'll be like, are there any questions after I've done a thing? And they'll be like, nothing, maybe. So we call it a moment of silence. Thank you. It's like sometimes we all just stand there. I'll be like, okay, are there any questions? And then we'll just sit there. All right. So y'all, McIntosh Performance, quarter horses. Out in Nebraska, there might be some Hancock in there. I don't know. You'll have to talk to her about that. So you might need to be gritty. Get you a good one, something that's solid, big boned. Imagine they're not raising city horses out there. Yeah, no eye contact, Rosie. No eye contact during the moment of silence. Let's see. What do you recommend for young hands to learn how to control their horse with? I like a snaffle. I'm not going to kid you now. I might put a kid in a round pen with it in one of the comfort snaffles, but I essentially, whatever the horse rides well in, I put the kid in that. Now, if the horse sort of rides well in a leverage bit, but not really well, and then the kid's going to have bad timing, and then so he might get some weird habits, then I go ahead and I switch to the snaffle anyhow, just for less. Now, if we're going out on a trail ride, and I know the horse is a little sketch, which he shouldn't be, but let's just be realistic, folks. Some of us don't ride our horses 6 days a week all year long and get the heavy training they need. So you might need a little bit of coverage there to kind of help. And I'm not saying that's the only way you should be riding, but then maybe I'd put a little bigger bit and have a nice saddle horse around to kind of keep him at bay if something were to go on. That's not a recommendation. I'm just saying that's maybe what I would do. So Jesse James, Dog Bar. Are you kidding? You got highbrow? Oh my God. I've already bought 5 horses from Carolyn and I haven't even seen pictures yet. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3 Zoomers. All right. When will Zoom be? Deanna, I'll announce it in the on Equine Masterclass page. It will be next week sometime before Saturday at midnight. I promise you that. It will probably be towards the Saturday realm. I might sneak something in a little earlier, but I will let you know once we get everybody organized and get that second. I'm one. No, you're 125 proud mamas. I mean, you're one, but of 125 children. That's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, us West Siders, I mean, there's a couple places out here in Washington I know that have some big herds in Oregon, but it's pretty rare. You know that, right? You know that. So, all right. Well, I best get out of here. You said you have a barn full of hay. Yeah, this is true, Kathy. Kathy's saying, Steve, you're clear to purchase more because you got a barn full. Yeah, actually, I got a front yard full. I just tarped most of it. I do have some of it in a barn. Yeah. So, all right. Well, y'all been fun. Make sure you get out there. If you have any questions, email the office, info@horseteacher. Get your equine masterclass. It's the coolest thing going right now, and it's just going to keep building and getting better. She needs 125 bids. If that's the case, I have 125, Carolyn. I'll cut you a screaming deal. That's funny. All right. Well, I'm out of here. I have no idea how to end this live. Oh, here it is. It's up here. Found the button. So thank you all for joining me. I appreciate all of you. I'm hoping you're recovering from your holiday weekend. We're back at it Monday, tomorrow. So if y'all going back to work, y'all have fun. Put a like down here if you like what you're seeing going here. And we'll be back at you guys another time. All right.